Welcome back to the Cozy Corner Podcast, Season 3. It's been about 2 months since we've had our last episode. So, with refreshed minds, souls, ideas, we're ready to kickstart Season 3, and we hope you are too.
Yeah, we have some really great topics coming up, some incredible special guests, and we even have something very exciting planned, something that we've never done before here on the podcast. So stay tuned. Let's go.
Yes, so many exciting things. I cannot wait.
Since it's been a while, I feel like that we should kind of catch up. And from our first season, we had this like what is it called segment that we
Mm-hmm.
liked that we used to do every week. We called it ¿Qué pasó? So Gabby, ¿qué pasó? What
¿Qué
have you been up
pasó
to?
conmigo? Well, like last year, this time last year, we were doing the Cozy Corner. I got a seasonal job. So this year, I am now working at James Avery, and I feel like the majority of the people that listen will like know what James Avery is, but because I know there's some out of towners, James Avery is Texas based out of Kerrville, family owned. They have all kinds of jewelry, silver, gold, leather, brass, copper, kind of like for men and women. And they're like faith inspired, which I love. I love all the, like right now they have Lady of Guadalupe collection, which I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And they have like really known for their charm bracelets and well, really, really known for their rings because the sterling
Mhm.
silver is really good quality. And I feel like a lot of people, it was like a gift, like a lot in high school when you got like the heart ring or the Texas ring or something like that. So I definitely knew of it growing up. And obviously, I've been now back in Texas. There was one built right. It says Cedar Park, but it is Leander like area. But it was so close, and I went to go visit and got myself a Whataburger cup charm for my charm bracelet. And the store was so pretty, and I forgot how the experience of James Avery, you really feel like you're in this high end place. I mean, because it is like it's not a cheap store. So I told myself months ago, I was like, if this place is hiring for seasonal, like I'm going to do it. Like I really want to work here. And then I went in one day
There
and
you
the little
go.
holiday seasonal, I applied. Fran and Linda were awesome. They got me in for an interview. So yeah, yesterday was my first day and I'm feeling very confident about my communication skills and like with the customer service that they
Uh-huh.
need because it's definitely different than clothing retail, which is what I did last year at Torrid, because it's more, I mean, jewelry, it's delicate. They're not there going through finding their like rings and just holding them, like you bring them to them on a tray and it's very, lush and it's very like intimate. So I'm very excited for the next, what is it, 3.5 months is my contract. So we'll see. Maybe I'll like extend it like how I did Torrid. Maybe, it'll just be for what it was, but that's something
How
really new and
exciting.
exciting. Yeah. But on the home front, me and Brett are very happy about this colder weather happening. Um, Mostly really because with Bandit, because boxers get overheated easily, um, we don't really take them out that much like during the summer and like go on hikes and walks. Like it's just, I at least would be very paranoid, like, is my dog overheated? Like trying to find shade, blah, blah, blah. So we're just excited that the holidays are here. That means the winter is coming. And I mean, I know we're still in super fall, y'all, but to me, it's like I'm more excited about winter. And yeah, we're
Yeah.
just kind of on the back patio more often and just loving
Well,
everything.
yeah, right now it's like the transition stage from
Yeah.
summer to winter. So perfect. I'm excited.
Yes. Well, thanks. And what about you? ¿Qué pasó?
Um, ¿Qué pasó conmigo? Muchas
Sí.
cosas. Like you guys know, from the last time we were here with season two, in the middle of season two, I got a new job at a different school. It's been so good. I'm learning so much. The school is so different, but like I said, it's been good. And we just finished last week, actually, because the school year in Guatemala starts in January and ends in October. So right now I'm kind of like in summer mode, not really because I'm still doing training and planning and everything for next year, but I'm not teaching anymore, so that's good. Um, taking it easy. And now that we are back with season 3, I'm able to completely focus a little bit more on our podcast and just spend more time with Gabby, spend more time with Edwin, my husband. And I'm so excited because I'm going to Texas in November. Woohoo!
So excited.
I'm gonna spend Thanksgiving there for the first time with my family in Texas since 2015. So
Wow.
it's crazy, right?
I can't believe, because yeah, usually it's like December, but yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
In my old job, I was working through November until, so I wasn't able to take off or like have a vacation leave until December. So now we decided to spend Thanksgiving with my family. We'll come back in December, the mid December, to spend New Year's and Christmas here in Guatemala. So I'm excited.
Good.
Things are going so good. Um, Other than that, my job, Edwin and I think I mentioned before also, we started a nonprofit here in Guatemala, and things are really starting to pick up a little bit more. It's like kind of starting a business where things kind of go like really slow at the beginning and you have a lot of work to do. So we're kind of finally in the stages of where like things are starting to come together. We had our first official event on Children's Day, which was October 1st. That was so beautiful and so fun. um, so in the coming months, in the coming weeks, we're still going to be working on that, keeping busy. So I'm very, very happy, very excited.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and yeah, that's what's happened with me.
I do got to do a side note. So my mom, I was telling her, she was like, what exact dates are Darlene and Edwin coming to Texas? And, I told her and she was like, oh my God, does she need us to do a surprise? Do I need to pick them up from the airport? This and that, because
Oh,
my mom is definitely
she's
always on the train to
awesome.
surprise your mom with you
She's
guys.
awesome. That was the plan, actually. That was the plan to
To
like
like,
tell my mom, sorry, mom, I can't come until, you know, mid or no, until Thanksgiving because her birthday is like the
right
week before
before.
Thanksgiving. I wanted to surprise her before her birthday, but in the end, we had to tell her the plans because she has to kind of pick us up from Houston. So
Ah, you're
anyway,
flying into Houston.
I'm flying into Houston.
Ah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
probably, yeah, like easier to do that. So I see that you need to talk about it, but I feel like we can just dab on it a little bit. The whole, okay, I
Oh my
have it
God.
highlighted on our script. Um, so, oh, I didn't mean to put LOL there. I meant to put LOL on the reunion. Okay, so I don't know who it was that created. So me and Darlene both went to Canyon High School in New Braunfels, and I don't know who it is. I think it was Kelsey Morgan that started, a friend of ours, a high school friend of ours, that started done a chat, a group like CHS reunion, because it's going on now 11, well, yeah, 10 years will be to, I mean, going on almost 11.
It already passed our 10-year
Yeah.
anniversary.
And, so people, are like telling each other where, like, what are you doing and where are you at type of thing, super casual. So Darlene told me about this in one of our meetings and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I, wasn't paying attention. I'm not really on Facebook that often. And tell me why, guys, it took, like, I was practicing typing out what I was going to say as my update. I mean, y'all know our listeners know that Gabby is kind of just like, I don't have like an actual career right now. I'm just kind of floating and that is okay. And I, like love in life, but it's like, how do you
Yeah.
say that? Because a lot of people, they're like, I'm a teacher with 2 kids and married and I live here. And, it's just like, to me being this like unprofessional person, I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I say like my life status? And Darlene was being so supportive. And I think it ended up being kind of like I was trying to go loosey goosey, like keeping it like I'm a
Casual.
keeping it casual. And I like was like, hey, I'm in like new to the Austin area. I think I even put filmmaker. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
you did.
I still consider myself a filmmaker. I'm like working on a passion project right now, but I think I said like trying to figure out my life. Can I get an amen? And I was like, Darlene, is it funny only because you laughed, or is it funny? Like, are people gonna get it? And literally just the other day, so it had been like 2 weeks since I like put that post, and I didn't think anybody commented on my post, and I was like, oh my God, I'm the loser. I thought I was because no one even commented, but then Darlene was like, Gabby, people commented literally on your comment,
Like right away.
like right away, and I didn't even see it. So yeah, there was like a few girls that I knew of, and a lot of people. I mean, yeah, like more than 10 people, laughed or like liked it, and I was like, okay, oh
You're
my god.
good. You're all good.
We
No.
definitely were talking about after having like a high school maybe episode of just like the 10-year reunion. Yeah, like let's get cozy with 10-year reunions or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would be interesting.
Yeah, we have to do that. No, but
Yeah.
I want to say, because yeah, I think Gabby and I maybe we spent 15 or 20 minutes like figuring out what is Gabby going to write. But it's so true because whenever I was writing mine, I had written mine maybe like a day before you did. And
Mhm.
I literally spent maybe 15, 20 minutes. Okay, how am I going to write this?
We're so the same.
I'm sure we're not the only ones,
I hope.
but
I mean, yeah, I'm sure we're not. And if we are, we're awesome and twins.
I mean, I feel like we can definitely go into this in our other episode if we do talk about this, but I feel like you just have like these expectations. It's been 10 years. So you
Yeah.
want to kind of like put off like that you are doing good or
Right.
you
But then
don't
you
want,
also,
yeah, you don't want them to know that you're not like that you didn't
right.
go anywhere. You know what I mean?
It's
So
like, but then what we think about other people is like, I don't care like about people, other people. I
yeah,
mean, I don't care about their, I don't mean to say I don't care about other people's success, but I'm not going to ever compare. Like, I don't want other people to feel like they think I'm going to judge them because like, that's not
exactly,
me.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
So
it's like your own thing.
it's,
We are our own worst critics.
yes,
That's
and
what
that
it
is
is.
very true to this episode today. But anyway, so that was just something. Yeah, we'll probably make an episode, guys. So if y'all like totally
Definitely.
want to like LOL with us, like comment, DM us, just maybe tell us a story. That'd be great. But moving forward, something just kind of fun because it's been a couple months since we've all
Our
gotten
last,
to
yeah.
cozy together. We just kind of had a fun question of like, what has been the best day over the past 2 months? And mine's so typical, but it's true. It really is.
Let's
So
hear
the
it. Let's hear
okay, so
it.
the past 2 months, just like me, I got to do a little mini story time. So the past 2 months have literally been weekend after weekend. I have something planned, celebrating. My little cousin had a debutante. I was going to say appointment, a debutante ball. So I went to that with my family. It was a really big deal. I had went to a bachelorette party slash bridal gown party. I've seen family, seen friends. So like weekends have been, and then, I'm a dog mom, y'all. So like me and Brett have been like, okay, like kenneling him, like overnight boarding him. So it's just been like hectic, but all those things have been great. And I really can't choose one over the other, but I would have to say the best day when you have a busy 2 months for me, the best day is when you wake up on a Saturday. Well, when your dog sniffs in your ear, wakes you up, you have that's your natural alarm. And then my hubby is already awake just looking at me because I get up last in the family. And it's like, what do we want to do today? Like, there's no plans, the house is quiet.
Oh,
And it's like, I know that's so like cliche, but it really is like, yeah, this is like, it kind of feels like those moments where it's like, yeah, this is life. Like, I mean, especially me and Brett are interested in having kids, in a couple of years, hopefully. It's like we really soak in like the quiet mornings because that's done, I'm sure,
yeah.
after having kids, So that's been kind of our favorite. We had a weekend of chill time last weekend and this weekend. So I'm excited. Yeah, but that was my
Good.
favorite day the past 2 months. What about you?
Oh, how special. Because you've done
Thanks.
so much. So I love that.
Yeah, thanks.
For me, my or the best day that I've had in the past 2 weeks was actually Independence Day, but like Guatemalan Independence Day, which is September 15th. I got invited back to my old school to be a judge because all of the kids they did like performances, like dances or like little skits or whatever with each of the houses because at my old school they were living in it's like an orphanage. They live in the
Mhm.
houses and they go to school there. So each house put on a performance and I got to be a judge. And it was just the best day ever because it brought back such good memories as to why I
Mm,
fell in love with Guatemala, really, because it's just such a beautiful culture. And yeah, so that was my best day, getting to be able to see some old friends and my old students. So
That's awesome. I love that.
best day, best day.
I know, I love it when you post it on your store. Like, I don't know if you post that specific, but when you post when you're with your kids or just like in the Guatemalan culture, I think it's so beautiful that I love it when you share it, but I love like there's just a certain look on your face that's just so very
I
happy. So
I
it
can't
makes me
explain it.
happy.
I can't explain it. It's so great, so great. Okay, we're going to now move on to what our episode is about, which is feeling confident in your own skin. So, but what exactly does that mean? Being confident in your own skin is, for me, is not worrying about what other people think about you, not looking for approval from others, doing things the way that you want without caring about what others will say or what others will think. Not only that, I also think it means that you believe in yourself, that you know that you have the capacity to do the things in life that you want to do or that you're meant to do. That's what I think that being confident in your own skin means.
Yeah, for sure. I totally align with that. And I feel like not feeling confident or comfortable in your own skin is not accepting yourself the way you are. Being able to know your own strengths, weaknesses, ability to take up space and to be unapologetic about that. Um, you are, because we are all able to gain confidence because we deserve, no matter where we are in life, to shine. And listen, you could get yourself like in your car before an interview and you're not feeling confident. You can meditate to yourself, you can give yourself words of affirmation, you can get through an interview confident, that can take you through a day confident, you can have a phase of life that's confident. Like no matter how you do it, we know it's not easy because we literally, that's why we have these segments, because we talk about things that like we've struggled with. So like everybody
Mhm.
struggles with getting confident in their own skin, and it's not easy, and but we think it's totally worth it. So I'm excited to talk about our personal experiences and so what.
It's all a journey after all, isn't it?
A journey. It really is. It really is. For my personal experience with not being confident in your own skin, I I take it literally until I shed the literal of like own skin, which I think so many maybe people thought, oh, body image, like they've already talked about that. Like, yeah, no, we're not talking about body image and your relationship with your body and relationship with food and social media, yada, yada, yada. It's more like what we were saying is being confident in yourself. So for me, and it totally resonates because I've gone through, as everybody knows, and if you don't know, I've gone through a big transition in my life. I left a place that I was really comfortable in. Now I'm back in Texas. I'm in a new city. And for a lot of like, currently, I still struggle with it. Like, I'm not going to lie. And it's, me and Darlene just had a really vulnerable conversation the other day where I was like, Darlene, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you this, but like, I have to tell someone, like you have to get it out, and definitely just like talk to people if you are needing to talk to people. But for me, I don't even feel confident sometimes being a Gabby. Like I'm Gabby Williams. Um, I am myself, but sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, I am not who I used to be. I had all these different phases of life. Like, what makes Gabby interesting? What makes Gabby cool? I can look back on Facebook and my Instagram and see, a beautiful documents of my life, but then I'm like, I'm not like that anymore. I'm not, you know, I think it comes maybe with getting closer to 30 or something, because I think people always say like your 20s are for you and this is when you're the most interesting, and you gotta keep that up when you get closer to 30. And maybe it's an age thing, maybe it's I'm in a new place thing, so I don't have my social circle. Maybe it's also because I've like significantly cut putting my life on social media. I don't know what it is, but it gets to me really bad. And I had to really start thinking that this is my ego. This is my ego trying to bully me, because we are our own worst bully. And I had to unlearn that even my own Instagram life that I put on,
Mm-hmm.
like my life is more beautiful because it's more raw, because like I'm living in it. Like I said, those Saturday mornings where I wake up and there's nothing to do, with my dog on top of me and my boyfriend in bed with me, like those are beautiful moments for me. That's more beautiful than me posting, a picture, or me telling a friend where like some exotic place I want to, like I've been, or something like that. I hope this like resonates, because with me it's a lot to do with my ego. And it's embarrassing to say because I don't want to have an ego that's gross to me, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
I accept that everyone has an ego, and it's just about balancing it and like accepting yourself for like, you are beautiful no matter where you are in life. You deserve to take up space. You um are perfectly imperfect as everybody else is. So I think a lot I that I do to help myself when I'm just sitting at my house and I'm just even like journaling, or I'm on the computer, I kind of sit back and recognize like, Gabby, you're here, you're alive. You have people that love you, which is a big thing that I think we forget about when we are not confident in ourselves. We forget that like I can easily go through a moment where I'm like, no one loves me, no one texted me today, no one called me, no one's checking in on me. And it's like, hold up. That doesn't mean they don't love you. People are living their lives. Like you're not the protagonist in other people's lives. And there was a specific moment where I got kind of triggered with friendships and feeling left out. And one of the things that I told Darlene, and I was like really vulnerable, and it helped so much, is when I thought, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like if I only, like I have Darlene in my life, like I think about that. And I know you told me that, like when I'm feeling blue, I remember I have our friendship. Like if I
Mm-hmm.
have a friendship like Darlene, I have a friendship like that with my sister. It's like, like I'm loved, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
loved, and I'm so ready to love other people. So it's like, I know this sounds a little woo woo to some of y'all, but like really, if you look back, like that's what life's about. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about this tangible success. It's not about, um, I don't know, just anything that makes you feel guilty or shameful in your life. And you have to like press on towards that. Like, don't lean into that. Don't lean into things that make you feel crappy or crappy about yourself. Um, I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but overall, I've struggling, and I will
Mm-hmm.
struggle because, like I just actually recently learned about postpartum. I am not a mother and I've never experienced postpartum, but I think it kind of, what I learned was so mind boggling. Is I always thought postpartum was, and I know this is going to be like, what, Gabby, you thought that? I thought postpartum was when you miss the baby being inside you. I don't know why I thought that, but then I learned yesterday that postpartum is when new moms are like, they lose their identity of like self. Like I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea it was something that, even like, I mean, I'm not going to say I relate to a postpartum mother, but it's like, there are times in life where we maybe like focus on one thing, and yeah, like you might feel like you lost your identity, but you're never lost. It's just, you have to gain confidence in being happy, like gain
Mm-hmm.
confidence in like where you are in life, and like this is where you're meant to be. And like um I was telling my little cousin the other day, shout out to Sophie, she started her job at HEB, how I was telling her about my first day of James Avery yesterday. I was like, Soph, like I think sometimes I overthink, like, wow, I'm just doing retail jobs here and there, and like, do I really have like a focus? But I truly think that like everything happens for a reason. And even if you're in a place where you're like, wow, I didn't think I'd be here, like don't think that it's forever, because everything's temporary. We all know
Mm-hmm.
that life's temporary. So why would you put so much weight on a job you have currently, or a place that you're in currently? So that is like, nothing's permanent ever, except love and manifesting love, like you giving love to other people, positive light, you know, all the juju stuff. So I'm gonna wrap my personal story. God, This is why I need more notes on my end of the subject. I wrote down 3 sentences. But Darlene, do you feel me? Are you feeling
I
what
feel you. I
I'm
know that
saying?
you're touching my heart, and I know that you're going to touch so many people
I
that
hope
listen to
so.
that, because it is so true. It's so easy to feel lost and like feel like, oh my gosh, who am I? What am I doing? And but not only that, I feel like being confident in your own skin. Of course, when you think about that, it's talking that idiom. I use idiom because I'm an English teacher, and
I love
those are
that.
kind of the things
No, please
that we
explain.
use, right? Like idiom, um, things that don't literally mean what they're said, right? What they're saying is. So feeling confident in your own skin, you think, okay, my skin, right? My skin, for me, as I've mentioned before, I have struggled with my own skin, my actual skin, my face, with growing up with acne and all of that stuff. But it's not only about the way that you look, it's also about your abilities, right? Feeling confident in the skills that you have, that God has blessed you with, and being um being confident in the things that you can do. So those are kinds of the two things that I want to talk about: the outside and also the inside, in our skill set and those kinds of things. um so as I mentioned, my skin in general has been such an insecurity for me. But lately I have learned how to take care of my skin and able to kind of not get over those insecurities, but just to help me better and feel more confident. Because who cares if I have pimples on my face? And who cares if my skin has scars from my teenage years of all the pimples that were
Yeah.
on my face? And I'm sure many people can relate. But those things, I think, when we are focused on them, then our mood just goes down. So I've learned to not worry about that. Like, even also in the pandemic, because of just being home all the time and not going out as much, I haven't worn makeup. And makeup is what covers those flaws, right? Makeup is what covers those flaws. And so I think that not wearing it as often, I have been able to love the way that I look, and love my insecurities, or love my flaws that I have on top of my body. That has helped me a lot, with in that sense, right? But also, feeling confident about your own abilities has been a struggle for me as well, because I always talk down to myself. As I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, that we're our own worst critics, right? We're always talking down to ourselves. We're always saying that we can't do it, that we're not capable. So I have learned recently that, through the help of my husband, to be honest, that with his words and just the things that he says to me that make me feel good about myself, has taught me to talk to myself in those same ways, right? Like saying you can do it, or that you have to grow to gain that confidence. And as Gabby said, it's a learning process. I'm still going through this. I'm still struggling through it, still trying to learn. But I think that another thing that has helped is my faith, because every morning I wake up. Okay, I don't want to lie, not every morning, but most mornings I try and get up and sit on my couch to read my Bible, to journal, and to reflect, to thank God for my day, and to remember that the things or the abilities that I have are because of God. And if I don't put forth those abilities, or those gifts that He has given me, what is the use to just hold them in? To not be scared, to be bold. And for example, us with this podcast, this is something that I don't know, it's kind of scary. Like
Yeah.
we're here putting ourselves out there,
Yep.
right?
It's on YouTube. Yep. It's on the,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
internet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like us doing this, we're using our experiences and our skills with, I don't know, with communication, with
Mm-hmm.
the little technology that I
Yeah.
know, that you know.
No, of course.
um we are using those abilities to, I don't know, to help others. That's what I see that we're using this podcast as,
Yeah,
not just for ourselves but for others as
for
well,
sure.
to relate and listen to any little advice that we have, or just like the struggles that we're going with, because I know when I hear other people going through struggles, that helps me knowing that I'm not alone. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, those are like the two things that I wanted to talk about: the outside, gaining confidence with our appearance, with the way that we look, and gaining confidence with the abilities that God has given us and being able to spread them onto the world.
I love it.
So yeah, like I said, it's still a journey. We're still um struggling through it, but
Yeah,
those are kind of the things
right.
that I think we're
Yeah.
doing pretty
I
well.
mean, even thinking about the podcast, I'm going to ask you because I'll tell you what I felt. I remember the first time we put it out there and I like shared it on my own personal Instagram. I remember feeling very overwhelmed because there was a part of me that wasn't as confident because it's like, oh, what if my friends don't, DM me and say, great podcast or this and that. I remember feeling like not so confident, like, oh my God, we
Yeah,
just put ourselves out there. And,
same.
we're both obviously not, what is it, like Instagram famous, right? We don't have thousands of followers, like,
Where's
because
that?
usually people start that when they have, I don't know that, but like now I can easily say, and it's so confident and I love it. And I truly don't care what the numbers are, who's our listeners, like how the numbers of our listeners. I care about our listeners, but like I don't
Yeah.
want to focus on that because, yeah, like you said, that's not why we do it. We do it to just put out the positive light that we have and that
Yeah.
we want. So did you feel the same way at the beginning or
Definitely.
yeah?
Definitely. I feel like I honestly still feel that way. I'm not, I think you are more confident in that, where you talk to your friends about it, and we're getting like new followers from like every, whenever you went on your bachelorette party, I saw
Oh
we had like
yeah.
5 new followers. I'm like, okay, yeah, she's talking about the podcast. So it's like, yeah, I'm still struggling with that, to be honest with you.
No, totally.
I don't share it with a lot of
Because then people
people.
are like, because then you get the questions that come out, so like, oh, like who's on your podcast, and it's like, no, no, no,
Yeah,
no, it's not anything like what you
big.
probably seen. Like, listen, we're not small. I don't want to say that. I correct myself. We do this just for fun, but I
Mhm,
think
mhm.
it's fun. But then sometimes, like, I leave our sessions. I call these little sessions. They're basically therapy sessions to me because I'm like,
Yeah, literally.
dang, this is like deep stuff that we go into. So,
Exactly,
but yeah, no, I
exactly.
feel you. Like at at the bachelorette party, the bride, my friend, she was like, "Yeah, Gabby does a podcast." And they listened to a little
Cool.
bit, and the next morning they were like, "Oh my gosh, you guys have like ASMR voices. I could just like put your podcast on." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Well, well, first of all, we have good mics. Second of all, um, yeah, we just kind of,
I
I think it
know.
just might be the topics, but anyways, I felt very just like, I don't know, natural talking about, but no, I get it. Like, I think with other people,
Yeah.
like with family members that like listen to, crime podcasts and they're like kind of listen to more legit million follower podcasts. I'm like, yeah, it's just something fun, like no biggie. But yeah, I know what you mean. And I know that you're like proud of us. And yeah, this is a big
Oh,
deal. Like,
definitely. I am
I
proud of
think more
us.
people probably want to do podcasts, but it's scary to start. But
Yeah.
we
So,
gave each other confidence throughout the process and continually.
Gabby,
So
I just decided that's going to be my intention of the week. I'm going to, not just the week, the rest of these years, my
these
life, to to start gaining confidence in sharing this, because
even what you're doing with your nonprofit too, like I urge you to gain confidence saying, hey, I'm a co-founder of a nonprofit, things like that. Because I feel like I'm the same. Like here I am starting this like passion project film, and I'm probably gonna have to gain confidence and like asking people for resources and this and that. And it's
hard, but
putting
we can
yourself
do
out there is
it.
hard. We can do it. I believe in you. And I believe in anybody else out there listening that needs some self-confidence. I believe in you, whatever you want to do.
Whatever it is, you got this. You got this.
Mhm.
Gabby, you got this. I got this. We have
Yep.
to pump ourselves up. We got this.
So
Okay.
speaking of we got this, let's talk about how we can be confident in our own skin. We're going to share with you some different tips and tricks as to trick or treat. Get it? It's Halloween soon, or literally in a few days for you guys listening.
Yeah, literally.
On this
Happy
journey.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween. No, Darlene, start us off with the first tip for finding confidence.
Yes. So the first piece of advice that we have is stop seeking validation from other people. That is something that I have been working on, and I think I can say that I have gained that I don't really care what other people think. I'm going to dress like this and I'm going to be myself. So one thing I do want to mention is with this, I admire my sister so much, okay, because in the job that she does, she's a missionary, and
Sabrina,
she continued it even though like our family members didn't agree with what she was doing. She didn't care.
It's a risky, like not risky, what would you say? It's just something,
it's something very
not
different.
mainstream. Yeah,
Something very different. And so, but she only listened to what God had to say, and she was confident in her faith and confident in herself that she could do it. So that is something that I admire so much from her, is not seeking validation from others. And so that's something that I've learned from her that I'm proud to say that I'm working on.
Very confident in her own skin. When I see her, I'm like, dang, that girl knows what she's about, and she's unapologetic about it.
Exactly.
I love that. The second piece of advice we have to share is practicing self-love. So earlier when I was on my spiel about my life, and how I was saying nothing is permanent in life. Everything is temporary. So if it's a situation you're unhappy with, it's a situational, environmental, all those things. But what is permanent is your self-love for yourself, because that comes from within. That's your light within yourself. And like we kind of, the motto of this, we are our harshest critics / bullies, because I can bully myself. It's just a matter of starting with affirmations, starting with looking yourself in the mirror. It's cheesy, but I do it. And I say, I'm going to get through this, whatever I'm feeling. I love myself. Like, tell yourself what you love about yourself and what you're going to do to love yourself. Loving yourself is a sure way to find confidence. And I promise you that.
Definitely. The next one is, I'm like preaching to myself here, which is something that we already mentioned. Stop worrying about what other people think of you. So I can talk about like what we just mentioned about sharing ourselves, like sharing our podcast on our personal Instagrams. That is a reason why I haven't done it. I'm like worried about what they're going to think. Like, oh, these, what do they call amateurs? What are they doing? They think that they can, I don't know. They think they're so cool. I don't know. That's what I think that others will think. So this is an advice that I'm talking to myself as well. And especially with social media, I think that kind of blocks us from doing that. But I encourage I encourage us to stop thinking about what they think, because in the end, it doesn't matter what they think. What matters is our happiness. And if the things that we're doing or the things that we're wearing, I don't know, if that brings us happiness, that is all that matters. So let's stop worrying about what others think.
This is I love this one, and I love the quote you put in it, Darlene, for the script. Surround yourself with positive people. So there's a famous quote that says, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That gives me the chills, because I think there are a lot of people in the past have defended toxic friends to the ground just because I was like scared of losing them as a friend when it like at the end of the day they're toxic and they didn't make me happy and they weren't positive. So, I love that. And the people you do hang out with will soon influence you in some way. It's just a matter of time. As I'm saying this, I'm realizing this could be worded as follow positive people, your vibe attracts your tribe, all of that. Since social media is almost everything these days, you can easily surround yourself with negative, toxic things or positive people in, what is it, pages that lift you up and give your self-confidence. So
Exactly.
just like be specific, be picky on who you surround yourself with, because that is a huge influence on, yeah, like it said, your future.
Yeah, exactly. And what I wanted to say with that is not just your friends like in person, uh choosing people that can give you positive vibes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also the people you follow on Instagram or on
100%.
social media. Follow positive people, because if you start following negative, then yeah, like Gabby said, you'll be influenced. And I just want to mention that quote, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your
Mm-hmm.
future." A girl that I follow, she has a podcast as well and a YouTube. Jenny Namapola. So she always mentions that. So I just want to give her some
Oh,
credit. Thanks.
yes, love.
But the last piece of advice that we have is to be thankful. Always be thankful. Um, we are on this earth because of God. He has given us everything. He's the reason our being, why we have the things that we have. So I think that practicing gratitude allows us to focus on the important things and put aside all of those negative things that we mentioned before. So be thankful for our abilities and use them in the way that can help others and find your purpose in this world.
Oh, love that. And just like in our other episodes, folks, we want to leave you with something that can help achieve your dreams and goals on a small scale, of course.
Every time you listen, we want to leave you with an intention for the week that goes along with the topic of discussion. So this week's intention is very simple. We gave you a few tips and suggestions on how to be more confident. You know that it isn't something that happens overnight and that some things may be harder for you than others.
We want you to choose one of our tips and start practicing it this week. To remind you, the 5 tips were: stop seeking validation from others, practice self-love, stop worrying about what others think of you, surround yourself with positive people, and be thankful.
Choose one, and we're sure that you will start gaining some confidence. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today on the Cozy Corner. As mentioned at the beginning, we have some great ideas, great topics waiting for y'all. So be sure to continue listening in our future episodes.
Be on the lookout for some special news and some special guests. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at the.cozycornerpod, or you can email us at thecozycornerpod@gmail.com.
You can find us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And also, because we record the videos of our sessions, we also post them on YouTube. So don't miss out.
You don't want to miss our, well, Darlene looks beautiful today. I, on the other hand, going to the doctor. No, I'm kidding. It's just fun to see visually. And then we have the podcast dog over here. You wouldn't be able to see my dog Bandit.
Has he been there the whole time?
He has. He's so quiet. He knows
what
mom's
a
working.
Good dog.
No,
so
but
yeah. Gabby, wait, one thing. I feel like whenever I like get all pretty and put makeup, do my hair, you're not. And then whenever you get all pretty and do your makeup and hair, I'm not. So I think that's our vibe.
It's the vibe. So thanks for listening, y'all. God bless. Take care. Adios, amigos.
Adios.